I want to talk about a few snacks and lunch choices for children. And I'm going to start just with some of the snack food. Cheez-Its is, clearly aimed at children. We have Spider-Man on the front. And if you look at the ingredient list, it actually doesn't look too bad because you might see wheat flour, soybean, real cheese, cheddar cheese on here, paprika. So these things don't sound all that bad. But when I look at the label, what I see is, enriched flour. Wheat flour is white flour. Remember, that is the wheat plant. It's disassembled. The bran and the germ, which have the fiber and the nutrients, are removed. We're left with the endosperm, which is the starch. So there is starch, and then it's refortified with some of the vitamins they took out. And we don't have any real evidence that those vitamins they're putting in do us much good. Then we have soybean oil, and just because it says soybean does not make it healthy. Soy might be a healthy product as a whole food, but when you extract the soybean, put it through a lot of processing steps, and add it to a processed food, soybean oil is not good. So there's that's not good for you or for the child. And there is actually, to their credit, is real cheese in here, but it's a very small amount. And then what we see is some food additives. They don't have any of the dyes, which is good. Soy lecithin, so again, another food additive. So what this ends up being is a refined carbohydrate. So starch, which is highly digestible, turns immediately to glucose into the bloodstream. Processed oils, not healthy. Processed oils are not healthy. Food additives and salt. So no nutrition in here. So if this is used as a snack, as good should not think of this as a health food. Basically, refined carbohydrate, starch, essentially starch, salt, oil, processed oil, and food additives. I'm going to look at a really popular snack, brilliant marketing to put yogurt into something fun for kids. And one thing I just want to point out about this is that the sugar content for the tube is 9 grams of sugar. Keep in mind that for someone who's 4 to 8 years of age, they need only 3 teaspoons of sugar, which is 12 grams. So that's added sugar. Now, we do have to take into account there is some naturally occurring sugar from the milk in here. We just don't know how much. They don't tell us. But looking at the ingredient list, the first ingredient is milk, so that's good. But the second ingredient is sugar. And then the third ingredient is modified cornstarch, so processed starch. So you're getting sugar processed starch. Now, there is this isn't all added sugar, but 9 grams of sugar. What else is 9 grams of sugar? Now, I'm not going to tell you that this is equivalent to this. It's just a way of putting into perspective the sugar content in some snacks. Now, these Lunchables were designed to really help a working mother or a very busy mother, so they didn't have to pack up a lunch. It's brilliant as far as the marketing. Everything is put together in a very nice package. And the problem is that these are food products, are not real food. There's very little real food here. And if you look on the ingredients, what's really hard when you look at the nutrition facts label is that the daily values are actually given for an adult based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Now, a child, especially a 4 to 8-year-old, is not going to be eating 2,000 calories. So the values on here are not going to be representative of what a child would need, even though a child is the one who obviously is going to be intended, this product is intended for. So just for an example, it says the sodium is 560 milligrams, and that's 23% of the need for a day. But
For a 4 to 8-year-old, they only need 1,500 milligrams. So that means the sodium is actually 37% of what they need for a day just from eating this meal. The saturated fat is listed as 6 grams, but they don't need the 65 grams that's listed on the panel below. They actually, that's for total fat, so they don't need the 20 grams that's listed below for saturated fat. They only need 17. So instead of that being 30% of the daily value for saturated fat, instead it should be 35%. And then, of course, there's sugar, and in here there's very little naturally occurring sugar. In here there might be a wee bit in here, but the value is 27 grams. Most of that is added sugar because we can look at the label. And within the fruit drink, mixed fruit flavored juice drink blend from concentrate. So this includes water, and then the second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. So it's really important to look at the labels. Something else that is important to look at, there is partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil. We learned that anything that's partially hydrogenated means that there's trans fats. The label says 0 trans fats per serving, but we know that it can have less than 0.5 grams of trans fats per serving and call it 0. Another thing that's in here, and as you read down, is there's a lot of food additives. So we can say sodium diacetate flavor, sodium ascorbate smoked flavor, sodium nitrate, nitrites. We talked about, we'll be talking about those as their correlation with stomach and colon cancer, natural and artificial flavors. Remember, we don't know, there can be a lot of flavors added, even though it just says there might be one flavor. So this is more of a food product than an actual real food. Although it's convenient, it has definitely a much higher amount of what we'd expect for saturated fat, sugar, and sodium. So sugar, fat, and salt can be problematic in a lot of processed foods, in particular for children.